Damien wondered if he had arrived at the correct place. Bundle asked where they were, and Damien looked ahead, spotting two guards near a small house with a locked door. Inside, someone was banging on the door, claiming their innocence. The guard instructed them to be quiet, as Chief Albert wanted silence until the issue was resolved. Bundle inquired about the villagers' behavior, and Damien speculated that they probably believed Joseph was responsible. Though Damien was primarily interested in his reward, he found the circumstances unexpected. Joseph's guardian had recently passed away, and Joseph had been taking on odd jobs like herding sheep. Damien felt this was insufficient treatment for an orphan shepherd, particularly when the sheep were disappearing. He also noticed that this village appeared more reasonable than expected for a rural area in the middle of nowhere. Despite everything, he decided to meet the villagers. Damien approached the guard and greeted them with a simple hello. The guard recognized him as someone who had been speaking with Chief Albert. Damien confirmed that he had indeed spoken to Albert and inquired about Joseph's well-being. The guard replied that Joseph was doing the same as always. Inside the house, Joseph shouted for someone to open the door urgently. The guard pointed to the room and explained that Joseph was fine but had endless energy, which exhausted the guard. Realizing time was running short, Damien requested the guard to step aside for a moment, expressing his desire to meet Joseph. He then addressed Joseph with his fist aiming towards the door, cautioning him to move away from the door. Damien prepared to swiftly punch the door, causing the guard to shout in worry, questioning his actions. The door blasted open, revealing a boy inside as Damien asked him if he was Joseph, while Bundle tells Damien it appears so. Damien informed Joseph that he wanted to ask him a few questions and asked if he had the time. Joseph looked bewildered and asked who he was. Damien introduced himself as a mercenary from the Adventurer Guild. Bundle chimed in, introducing himself as Bundle. Damien reassured Joseph not to mind the talking chicken and the broken door, acknowledging the unusual circumstances. Joseph found himself frozen, wondering what was happening before him. Soon, Joseph found himself sitting on a bed as Damien began questioning him. Damien had heard about wolves hunting Joseph's sheep, and Joseph confirmed the truth of the matter. He explained that there was an enormous wolf, much larger than a human, which he had seen hunting a bear. As they conversed, the guard burst into the room, filled with anger. He objected to Damien listening to Joseph's account, finding it absurd that a wolf bigger than a human would hunt bears. Joseph, however, insisted that he was telling the truth. Damien pondered the situation, considering the possibility that such occurrences could exist. Mountainous areas like this often housed various monsters and beasts. Damien decided to delve deeper into the matter and asked Joseph where he had witnessed this remarkable event. Joseph informed him that it happened at the peaks of the Caliph mountain ranges. He had seen a pack of these wolves there, and if Damien followed the peak and headed north, he would reach a wide plain. The location was situated at the end of the forest, making it relatively easy to find. Taking all this information into account, Damien nodded in acknowledgement. At that moment, notifications appeared, presenting a quest titled Caliph Peaks Wolves and prompting Damien to accept it. Damien, after accepting the quest, sprinted towards Caliph Peak, his mind filled with thoughts about the benefits of having excellent items and money. Bundle agreed, affirming Damien's sentiment. As Damien ran, he reminisced about the impressive set of witch-doctor items he had obtained through the Apocalypse Invocation, the Book of the Black Covenant. The Flame Lizard bracelet boosted his defense and wisdom, providing some resistance to fire attacks. The bracelet's special ability, Flame Banquet, created flames for 30 seconds, continuously damaging enemies at the cost of durability. Nijawala's leather pants increased Damien's defense, health pool, wisdom, and provided some magic resistance. By consuming durability, the pants activated Dark Green Blessing, which increased casting speed, mana regeneration, and stamina recovery by 100% for 1 minute. The Golden Rabbit sandals boosted Damien's defense, increased his agility, and granted an increase in moving speed. By consuming durability, the sandals triggered Golden Flash of Light, exponentially increasing Damien's first step's speed by 10,000%. Damien recognized the rarity and value of such exceptional equipment, emphasizing that they couldn't be simply purchased with money. It had required a significant investment of hundreds of thousands of gold, as well as rare ingredients not readily available on the market. Damien realized the importance of having superior equipment, especially since the area he was heading towards was inhabited by monsters with levels exceeding 30. Damien came to a stop, a smile spreading across his face as he gazed ahead, saying he had found it. A notification appeared, indicating that new location information had been added, revealing their current location as the peak of the Caliph mountain ranges. Taking in the surroundings, Damien noted that it resembled a place where a wolf den would be and that the place was huge. The area was filled with boulders, creating numerous blind spots, and that there were cliffs several meters tall. He looked at the gap in front of him, which seemed too small for a wolf larger than a human to pass through. Nevertheless, he acknowledged that Joseph had claimed to have seen them with his own eyes. Without hesitation, Damien commanded, "Come out." A notification appeared, introducing a witch doctor skill called necromancy. As Damien activated the skill, multiple summoning circles materialized in front of him. Meanwhile, a group of adventurers was climbing the same peak as Damien. The party leader, Seo Hyun, urged her team to prepare, assuring them that they were close and would reach their destination soon. However, user God from afar questioned if there was anyone already present. Seo Hyun replied that she hadn't come across any information about someone successfully raiding this location, indicating that the quest had not been cleared yet. God from afar expressed his determination to take on the challenge, while user Selling Heal S500 raised concerns about defeating the powerful Great Wolf King. God from afar tells him that killing the boss was why they were here, but Selling Heal S500 tells him that he had heard that the boss was extremely strong. God from afar reassured him, confident in his own experience and abilities, claiming that the monster wasn't intimidating and its patterns were predictable. He advised Selling Heal to focus on healing their party. User Gel Punisher interjected, urging the group to continue without further delay, suggesting that there could be others already attempting the quest. This comment annoyed God from afar, leading him to curse at Gel Punisher. Gel Punisher then yells at God from afar for cursing at him, but God from afar tells him that he said nothing, I was just talking to myself. Gel Punisher tells him to watch his mouth as God from afar agrees with him. He thinks about getting back at him later with an evil grin. Seo Hyun intervened, reminding them of the importance of their current objective. However, before Seo Hyun could finish speaking, surprise crossed her face as they witnessed massive explosions ahead. They realized that someone was already engaged in a fight. It was Damien, surrounded by his summoned chicks, battling the wolves. Damien observed the number of wolves and couldn't help but smile, remarking that there were quite a few of them. He seemed content with the situation, not complaining about the challenge that lay before him. As the wolves continued to emerge from the narrow cracks, Damien was taken aback by their sheer numbers. He wondered if they lived between the boulders, comparing the bottom of the cliff to an ant's nest, only filled with wolves instead. Observing the increasing wolf pack below, Damien expressed his surprise. However, he quickly shifted his focus to the wolves in front of him, addressing them casually and remarking on their appearance. A notification displayed their information, identifying them as Caliph wolves. The notification described Caliph wolves as creatures that inhabited the peaks of the Caliph Mountains. Typically found in packs of 20 to 30, they were known to hunt in groups of 5 to 6, displaying high mobility and a tenacious nature when pursuing their prey. As the wolves attacked Damien, he swiftly reacted by summoning a decay elixir in one hand and fire in the other. He threw the concoction at the wolves. The attack hit its mark, causing one of the wolves to whimper. Shortly after, notifications appeared, indicating that the Caliph wolf's defense had decreased and its HP was gradually diminishing. Damien expressed satisfaction with the outcome, acknowledging that his strategy had proven effective. His stats windows were on point. Assessing his current situation, Damien felt confident in his abilities and equipment as he had reached level 34. He listed his current setup, including a +9 sashimi knife as his weapon, Bon Clay's poison-darted rooster as his shield, a wild boar helmet, Nijawala's leather pants as his bottoms, and golden rabbit sandals as his shoes. As Damien turned around, he noticed the wolves still behind him, which mildly surprised him. He commanded his soldiers, ordering them to prepare for an attack. The wolves growled at him in confusion and are surprised to see a figure appear on top of the mountain. Bundle, his loyal companion, confirmed readiness, and numerous chicks surrounded the wolves under Damien's orders. The chicks, armed with dart blowers, were poised for combat. Damien smirked, pleased with the effectiveness of his strategy. He mentioned the Bon Clay's poison-darted rooster shield, a rare item he had obtained. This shield had the special ability to transform the chicks' default attacks into level 10 poison dart attacks, making it ideal for dealing with groups of enemies. Damien had invested a lot of money into turning the chicks to hold weapons using the Apocalypse Invocation, the Book of the Black Covenant, making it the best item to deal with groups of enemies. Damien acknowledged that he could handle the situation on his own but expressed a preference for letting his soldiers handle the task, as he was feeling a bit lazy. Bundle agreed, affirming Damien's sentiment. Damien aims a finger gun at the wolves, telling Bundle and his chicks to not allow even a single one to be alive. Damien then started the attack with a bang. As Damien unleashed his power and the chicks attacked the wolves with poison darts, the wolves started to fall one by one. Notifications flooded in, informing him that the Caliph wolves had been poisoned and defeated. Damien couldn't help but be impressed by the efficiency of his strategy, eliminating the wolves without even lifting a finger. He also noted that using the Bloody Impulse skill on the chicks compensated for their lower attack power and specs. Damien contemplated the skills he had mastered: shooting poison darts, decay elixir, and Bloody Impulse. He acknowledged that these skills had initially seemed ineffective or came with significant penalties, but now they proved to be quite useful as their levels increased. Bundle proudly declared that they had taken care of all the wolves, and Damien commended their efforts. He received notifications of items obtained, including wolf canines, gray eyes, and gray fur. However, Damien knew that there must be an alpha wolf somewhere, as Joseph had mentioned a massive wolf. He decided to check the quest details once more. Examining the quest information for Caliph Peak's wolves, Damien discovered that he needed to defeat 200 Caliph wolves, with 20 already defeated, and also defeat the Great Caliph Wolf, with 0 progress so far. The completion percentage stood at 0%, and the rewards were listed as the Adventurer Guild's mission completion package. The quest also carried a warning that failure could lead to the Terra Kingdom blaming him if the people of Cornel Village were harmed. Realizing the magnitude of the task at hand, Damien acknowledged that it wouldn't be easy. Suddenly, a notification appeared informing him of Chick 34's death. He turned his gaze behind him as a massive shadow towers over him and saw a massive wolf growling at him, and another notification appeared, indicating the appearance of the Great Wolf King. As the Great Wolf King howled, yet another notification appeared, warning Damien to prepare for an ambush as the Wolf King summoned its pack. Stunned by the sight of the Great Wolf King, Damien exclaimed, "Holy shit! This many at once?" Bundle, filled with concern, asked Damien what they should do. Examining the information about the Great Wolf King, Damien learned that it was the dominant figure in the Caliph mountain peaks, having grown larger due to unknown causes. As the leader of the Caliph wolf packs, it possessed enough strength to take down a bear. The creature was categorized as a beast and held the status of an elite, with a formidable level of 45. Its enormous size left even retired hunters like Gertha astounded. With determination, Damien activated his skill, Bloody Impulse, and devised a plan. He assigned Bundle to take care of the Great Wolf King's minions while he focused on facing the formidable creature himself. Bundle promptly organized the chicks into position and ordered them to attack with their poison darts. As the darts landed on the wolves, Damien prepared himself for the encounter. Seeing that the chicks were handling the wolves, he realized they weren't a threat. Damien braces himself with a red aura covering his body as he readies himself for the upcoming battle. He utilized the defensive capabilities of his golden rabbit sandals and unleashed his skill, Golden Flash of Light, as he shouts "Go!" propelling himself into the air towards the Great Wolf King. He catches the attention of the beast by asking it where it was looking. With confidence, he addressed the Great Wolf King, stating that it was up against him. Amid his preparations, Damien received several notifications. His defense was enhanced by Ninjawala's leather pants, and his casting speed, mana recovery speed, and stamina recovery speed all received significant boosts through the skill Dark Green Blessing. Damien couldn't help but smile, feeling an overwhelming sense of power. However, a warning notification alerted him that the Great Wolf King had recognized him as the most threatening enemy and cautioned him to be cautious of its attacks. With agility and precision, Damien skillfully dodged the Great Wolf King's attack, narrowly evading its ferocious assault. He leaps onto the Great Wolf King's body into the air. Taking advantage of the opening he needed to first melt the fur, he swiftly threw the decay elixir at the creature, aiming to weaken its defenses and inflict damage. The elixir hit its mark, causing the Great Wolf King's defense to decay and decreasing its overall defensive power. Additionally, the elixir ignited the wolf, leaving it burned. Observing the situation, Damien couldn't help but notice that something seemed off. The Great Wolf King, being an elite-type monster, should have already unleashed its powerful attack or utilized defensive skills or commands to its pack. Yet, it had not made any such moves despite enduring a barrage of attacks. Undeterred, Damien brandished his knife, knowing that he had inflicted enough damage to potentially defeat the Great Wolf King before it had a chance to employ its skills. With determination, he prepared himself for a final, decisive strike, aiming to end the battle swiftly and emerge victorious. The Great Wolf King roared into the air, feeling the pain of Damien's earlier attacks. As Damien engaged in a fierce battle with the Wolf King, he swiftly analyzed its behavior and deduced that its trait was likely attack-oriented or leader type. Regardless of its trait, Damien knew he needed to finish the fight quickly. As he dashes towards the king, he looks down and notices that he doesn't have to pay attention to the minions below as the chicks were handling it well. His eyes gleamed brightly as he shows the long blade, thinking that it was his turn to do his part in the battle against the king. With determination, he approached the Wolf King and delivered a powerful blow, eliciting a painful howl. Meanwhile, a group of adventurers led by Seo Hyun arrived at the scene, witnessing the dust-covered battlefield. Confusion and speculation filled the air as they observed the ongoing battle. Gel Punisher wondered if the monsters were fighting each other, while Selling Heel pointed out movement in the fog. God from afar expressed frustration, questioning what was happening. Seo Hyun suggested that it was unlikely to be another user since they had left early in the morning after the quest had recently appeared. Selling Heel speculated that it might be monsters fighting over territory. Seo Hyun quickly assessed the situation and called for everyone to prepare for battle, instructing the healer to ready their buffs. As the fog began to dissipate, Selling Heel exclaimed that something unexpected was happening. They couldn't believe that a single player was fighting against the Great Wolf King by himself. God from afar was shocked to realize that it was a single person fighting the Great Wolf King alone. In a panic, God from afar exclaimed that someone might steal the kill and immediately started running toward the battlefield. As the Wolf King's attacks narrowly missed Damien, he expressed his frustration, acknowledging that the creature seemed unkillable. After landing on the ground, Damien pondered the situation, recognizing the formidable nature of a field boss. He reflected on his previous actions, having weakened the Wolf King's defense and reduced its HP with the Decay Elixir, while utilizing the synergy of the Deep Green Blessing and Flame Banquet techniques. However, to his dismay, he noticed that the creature still possessed half of its HP. The Wolf King lunged at Damien once again, but with agility and quick reflexes, Damien managed to evade the attack. Assessing the situation, Damien acknowledged that dodging the Wolf King's assaults was becoming more challenging as the creature closed in on him. Realizing the need for a change in tactics, Damien decided to switch to a ranged weapon, acknowledging that fighting from a distance would be easier. Despite the relentless attacks from the Wolf King, Damien skillfully evaded every strike and attacked him with a dart blower. Observing the situation, Damien noted the advantage of fighting from a distance but remained cautious of the Wolf King's unknown trait. Damien taunted the beast, blowing darts at it while confidently questioning its abilities and asking what it was looking at. Suddenly, the Wolf King let out a fierce howl, and to Damien's surprise, he found himself surrounded by a pack of wolves coming from the shadows. Realizing it was too late as the shadow wolves lunged at him, Damien finally understood that the Wolf King's elite trait was the ability to summon its pack. As the wolves sank their teeth into him, Damien cried out in pain while notifications flooded his vision. He received notifications of an abnormal status, being inflicted with bleeding and muscle rupture. Warnings about his falling HP levels urged him to be cautious as his eyes began to close. Fearing for his life, Damien's thoughts raced, realizing that he was on the verge of death. He soon began to put his hands together as if he was about to pray. When suddenly pieces of the shadow wolves began to fly around, which even startled the great Wolf King. A purplish skin tone foot slams heavily onto the ground where the shadow wolves were. The activation of a skill called zombification with limited remaining time allows for the user to transform into the undead once their life reaches 0. Damien reveals himself as is shown to have completely changed his looks into an undead as he spits out blood with a deadly crimson aura surrounding his body. Notifications began to pop up reminding him of his remaining duration of the skill zombification. The Great Wolf King growls in anger as it notices Damien's changed appearance. In a mixture of anger and pain, Damien directed his frustration towards the Wolf King, taunting it while vowing to tear its snout apart. Despite the excruciating pain he felt, Damien declared his determination to kill the Wolf King without hesitation. One of the wolves tried to attack him from behind, but Damien swiftly caught it by the neck, lifting it high in the air and telling it if they all wanted to die that badly and finally slamming it forcefully into the ground. As the whimpering wolf lay defeated, a notification appeared, indicating that the Caliph wolf had been inflicted with bleeding and poison. Finally defeating a Caliph wolf. Damien's victory over the Caliph wolf was because of Plague Aura, a poisonous curse that affected opponents within a 3-meter range. The severity of the abnormalities depended on Damien's mana amount and the opponent's level. With grim determination, Damien readied himself for the next phase of the battle and challenged the Wolf King. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, he warned the Wolf King that time was of the essence, demanding it to come at him or face his wrath. Meanwhile, God from afar, who was en route to Damien, couldn't help but feel frustrated with his teammates' doubts and reluctance. Recalling their conversations, he remembered them questioning whether they should give up, expressing their unwillingness to proceed. God from afar couldn't accept the idea of retreating without any gains. Upon reaching the scene, God from afar was taken aback as he witnessed Damien relentlessly smashing the Wolf King. He couldn't help but exclaim in disbelief at the sight before him. As Damien delivered the final blow, notifications flooded in, signaling his victory over the Great Wolf King. Experience points were gained, and Damien's level increased to 36. Additionally, he obtained valuable items such as the Essence of Wilderness and the Great Canine. Sitting down to catch his breath, Damien muttered to himself, acknowledging that he had ultimately succeeded in killing the creature. Notifications continued to appear, indicating the acquisition of the wolf head leather and the token of heresy, as well as the completion of the quest Caliph Peak's Wolves. Damien was instructed to return to Chief Albert in the Caliph village to claim his rewards. Picking up the drops left behind by the defeated Wolf King, Damien recognized the value of obtaining the Essence of Wilderness. He also acknowledged the usefulness of the chicks in taking care of the additional wolves, resulting in his level increase. With the quest successfully completed, Damien decided it was time to leave. However, just as Damien was about to depart, he noticed something amiss and instinctively blocked an arrow with his arm. Damien examined the arrow lodged in his arm and quickly deduced that it was a catapult arrow, aimed directly at his head. Realizing that the attack had come from nearby, he acknowledged the presence of a strong user who had gone unnoticed. With a calm yet assertive tone, Damien called out for the mysterious assailant, issuing a warning while still offering a chance for a peaceful encounter. God from afar emerged from the shadows, impressed by Damien's quick reflexes. He cautioned Damien against making any sudden moves, threatening him with the consequence of death. Unfazed by the warning, Damien calmly pulled out the arrow from his arm, displaying an unsettling smile. He directed his question towards God from afar, demanding to know his identity.